let me throw this in. But would it change your mind if, let's say, your wife has a particular hairstyle groomed down there that maybe was not as tight as you prefer when you were just dating?
Yeah.
Got a little loose. And you see her walk out of the shower the day before she leaves, and it is trimmed up, prim and proper. Would you think anything? Welcome back to Baltimore's best podcast, Inappropriate. I'm Jim.
I'm Steve.
And what do we have in store for our listeners this week?
Oh, if you listen to the radio in the 90s, this is going to be a little bit familiar to you.
A little flashback, a little reminiscent of the days when I would lay down in my bed about 10 o'clock, turn on 99.1 on the FM dial, and listen to the Syndicate radio show.
Loveline is meant for an adult audience. Loveline may contain sexually oriented content. Listener discretion is advised. Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew. Loveline, coast to coast.
Dr. Drew, you may know from YouTube now, telling you what to eat on YouTube ads.
And Adam Carolla has a podcast. Adam Carolla's podcast, which I love Adam Carolla. And he has found a way to do his thing, his shtick. You know, it's kind of it's not the same, but he goes off on his rants. And I used to love his rants. His podcast is like 25 minutes long. It's got an intro of ads about 5 minutes in the beginning, about 3 minutes in the middle, and then there's some at the end. So you're getting like
12 minutes.
12 minutes of content. And he's got to be cashing in.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nothing but ads.
That kind of sucks.
As a listener, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why I think I phased out, because when I first discovered it, I was like, oh yeah, and I listened to it. And then I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, like, I'm listening to more commercials than I'm listening to content.
Yeah. When you listen to the radio nowadays, if you turn it on at any random time, there is a 90% chance it's going to be an ad.
Yes.
That's why we're glad you listen to a podcast.
Because you know what you don't get here? Fucking ads.
No.
We don't make any fucking money.
Yeah.
We just do this for you.
We do this for fun.
For fun, for free, for you. Baltimore's best podcast.
Yes.
Inappropriate with Jim and Steve. But we are getting into... We have so many questions that people need advice. They need our advice.
Yeah, people have been sending in People have been sending emails
via pigeon.
Yeah,
pigeon cord.
Jim loves birds, so they're all tied up out back his house.
My dream podcast would be just have callers call in, and I get to tell them
how to
fucking live their life.
Yes, that would be so great.
I could do that 24 hours a day. I could sit in our studio and just field phone calls.
I know. Gosh, yeah. If we could do that, we would get recliners.
We would get recliners in here.
It would just be a straight line instead of you and I sitting at a table looking at each other.
Right. We just stare at the wall, shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah. Listening to callers.
So this is what we're gonna do. We're going to read some questions, some off-the-wall questions, I'm sure, and then we're just going to let those people know how the fuck to handle their life.
Yes.
And if you have your own question, DM us on one of the socials, either Facebook, Instagram.
Do you want me to start?
Yeah,
or?
You get right into the first question that we have.
All right. I'm just going to preference it by saying, I'm just going to tell you just a quick synopsis. My fiance told her group of friends that I'm not the greatest at sex, but she is with me for the complete package. Am I wrong for calling off our engagement? They were out one night, and he was pressing her friend for what his fiance said.
He's trying to get some dirt on him.
Yeah. He kept pressing her, and then she said, well, we were all kind of drunk. She said that you weren't the greatest at sex, but she's with you because you're the complete package.
Well, not the complete package.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so strictly a knee-jerk reaction to that would be, as a male, that's a huge blow to the ego.
Yes. If I sucked at everything else, but was good at that, good at that,
She'd still be with you. As someone who was in a relationship for a long time, I would avoid that fucking question.
yes.
I feel like I'm pretty good. I feel like I'm attentive. I attempt to,
Yeah.
be the complete package.
It's not always a 10, but you're averaging an 8.
Yeah, I mean, don't ask my wife.
You would hope so, at least.
Do we call off an engagement?
Yes. So he ended up, the fact that she said that, he could not get it out of his head, and it ate him alive to the point where he called off the engagement.
Say, for instance, let's just say she, I don't know what they look like, but let's say she had nice B cups. Mm-hmm. And let's say his previous girlfriend had double Ds.
Yeah.
And somebody says, hey, well, how does she compare? I'm like, oh, she's pretty good. My ex's tits were fucking huge. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's kind of the same way.
Yeah.
But that doesn't necessarily change how he feels about her or sex with her or anything.
Yeah.
Just because somebody else had a measurable better tits or a bigger ass or whatever it is that you're into.
His first mistake was pressing the friend for
Never ask a question you don't want the answer to.
Yeah, I guess he was hoping that she would say, "Oh,
God, his dick is so big.
everything's so
It
great,
barely
I can't."
fits."
When your significant other is out with their friends, that's their domain.
As long as they're staying within the guidelines of a relationship. So he was wrong.
Yeah, and he's 27, so I feel like he should know better.
You know what's going to happen? He's just going to marry an Asian girl.
Yeah,
That's his only choice.
I know. I know. And the fact,
No offense to anyone married Asian women. They're very lovely.
Yeah.
Just stating. He's not going to date a black girl.
yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Do you see what I'm saying?
yeah. I don't think it is any reason to call off an engagement.
No.
The girlfriend didn't do anything wrong.
If you fall into more of the conservative, traditional relationship where, we're a little loose-lipped around here, right?
Yeah.
So our partners have to, in some degree, share that same quirky, sarcastic style of humor.
Yeah.
At least humor us with that and not
Yeah.
get offense. So if you're not able to have that type of conversation with your old lady, then you hear from her friend that she's talking about sex behind your back and also saying that it's not great, which is probably the single most, negative thing you could say about a guy to get straight to his ego. I could see how that might come out as a left field, but you still got to just talk to her. Now, if he is like super wealthy and she says he's the total package, I would go, she's only with me for the money at that point.
Yeah. Okay.
Right?
Yes.
If they both had similar jobs, then there's obviously, I think most women don't rank sex as high on the chart as men.
Yeah.
So he might not rank there, but it probably averages out to a great score
Yeah.
all around.
Yeah.
So, all right. Moving on. I'm 27, and together with my ex-fiance, she's also 27, we were together for 3 years. We had an overall good relationship, but I would say the problematic part was the intimacy. She was not into trying out new things with me, and she was very selfish in bed. I went above and beyond to please her, while she did not reciprocate. I had many discussions about it with her, and all she said was, "That's how I am." Well, I came to learn that that's not how she is. That's how she is with me. I had a talk with her about it and asked her if she was forced to do non-vanilla things with her past relationship. She told me no, and that she actually just didn't enjoy these things. I asked her if there was a problem, and she said, "Nope, there's nothing you can do to make anything more passionate." I told her that this is no problem and asked her why she doesn't put any effort in bed. She told me, "I can rock your world, but I just don't want to." So I understood the issue is the fact that she just doesn't want to do it with me. I can't force her to do something she doesn't want to do. I told her it's over. She should pack her things and leave the house. she was surprised and for some reason tried to convince me that she would try to get better. And she also called my family and her family to try to get them to sway on her side.
I wonder if she told them, like, I'm just boring in bed and we're calling it quits.
So I think this one is maybe a little bit more under the surface. It's not that she's boring in bed. It's more the fact that it seems manipulative. She can do it. She just says, I don't fucking want to do it.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine that doesn't spill over into other avenues of life.
Yeah.
Kind of that laziness, that entitlement. Like, you go do it. I don't feel like doing it.
Yeah.
So I feel like maybe he's always probably walking on eggshells. So he does extra in bed to try to spark some things.
Uh-huh.
And the more he does, the more
less,
she retreats.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like a power trip to her.
Yeah, that she's can be controlling by not doing anything.
Right.
And knows that he's going above and beyond, trying to get her more into it.
Which kind of falls back to that nice guy.
Yeah.
You know, women don't necessarily want the nice guy because they don't want a pushover. Mm-hmm. They might say that on the surface.
Yeah.
But any guy that will just fold and do whatever they say, and there's no pushback, there's no backbone, they lose respect for over time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that kind of nice guy mentality just becomes, you're a fucking wimp. Like women want pushback because then you see the boundary.
Yeah, because then you're in a relationship kind of thing where, like, yeah, it's
give and take.
It's give and take.
Absolutely.
It's give and take. Yeah. So.
And if I'm always going down there, if I'm going downstairs every time, and you and like,
it's not getting reversed,
and you're not coming back, like, and I go, not every time. Sometimes, you know, and you could go for a stretch.
Yeah.
Not getting anything received.
Yeah.
But if there is a pattern of it just not ever happening, then you're like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
There's no compatibility.
Yeah, because as much as people say it isn't that big of a deal, like, even if you're not the greatest at it, you still want to have that give and take.
Oftentimes for a man, it's not just pure pleasure. I can say for personal experience, it is time that you get with your significant other. You're not on your phones. You're not, well, probably not. Like the kids aren't around.
Yeah.
Like it's you two.
And that's it.
And right. So it is time with each other. Yes, you might be having sex, which is also a plus, but it is needed to balance out the craziness of having kids or work schedules and shit. And if there isn't that release to where you can just focus on each other, you might as well just be fucking roommates.
Yeah, I agree. I can't even say anything. I was just repeating everything that you said.
Next question.
This is a 28-year-old male. I recently learned my wife, who's 27, has at some point performed oral sex on her mentor, which is a 64-year-old male. The wife and I have been together 4 years and married for 1. She has known this other guy her whole life. I had no idea they ever had sexual contact before this incident. The other day, I was on my wife's phone while she was asleep. I know I shouldn't snoop, but I was. Anyway, I was scrolling through texts with this mentor-type figure when I ran across this bombshell. To paraphrase, it was essentially her reminiscing about sucking his dick, also complimenting his semen. He basically just replied with an emoji and the topic stops.
She for the streets. No. You keep those thoughts to yourself, honey.
Yeah, you never. I'm always a big proponent of the fact that you shouldn't go through people's phones.
No.
But you should trust the person that there is nothing on there that you would want to fucking see. He had to have some kind of
right,
weird
that's what
feeling.
I'm saying. If you're going through the phone, you're probably not just innocent and like, oh, I just wanted to get pictures of our last vacation that she didn't send. You know what I mean? Like there's a reason. There's something else that happened that made him go, well, what might else be on that phone? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what is that? What can I find?
Yeah. He probably thought their relationship was strange.
Yes.
And,
which it is.
Yes. And he was looking for that text message thread and then just saw something he
yeah. And then on one hand, assuming that she gave the mentor oral prior to them being an item.
Yes.
In theory, nothing was wrong.
Nothing's wrong. Yeah.
As a woman, to text a man, I was just thinking about your semen and how much fun it was sucking your dick.
Yeah.
That's not like, hey, had a fun time at the ball game.
Nice catching up.
Right. That's fishing, right?
Yeah.
She
wanted to see what he would say. Yeah.
And then you could only imagine that if he was like, oh yeah, like I haven't had a blowjob like that since last time we were together. That's setting the groundwork
for something else to happen.
Yeah. So the fact that he shut it down, assuming he did, or maybe he was like, let's take this offline.
Yeah.
I would not be able to trust my wife after that.
That means that she was thinking about it a lot, enough to warrant messaging him about that. If it was before they were together, no harm, no foul. It's nothing.
Yeah, and you can have fond memories of the past.
Yeah.
Sexual or non-sexual.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. And even if she really did think all this stuff, she shouldn't have said anything, though. You're right, where she was laying the groundwork to do something again.
There's no other reason to tell a man that you enjoyed sucking their dick, right? Like, where do you go? Thanks, or you're welcome. Obviously
happy to do that for you.
She said it to evoke a response, certain response, whether she got that response or not. But then I would also have to question what is he mentoring her with?
I don't.
And then how did that if he knew her entire life and he's 60-some, that means he was let's just say 30 when she was born.
Yeah.
So by the time she was dick sucking age, let's say 18, assuming 18, he's already damn near 50.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So, and that's barely legal territory.
And that's assuming that they waited that long.
Yes.
I don't know what he's mentoring with, but yes.
Yeah. When you hear the term mentor, for him to use the phrase mentor, it makes you think of a teacher.
Knowing what we know, I think groomer. He was grooming her.
Fucking P. Diddy.
Yeah. So I say no. If you can't keep those thoughts to yourself, then there's a reason why you're reaching out. And there was also a reason why he was suspicious of this person. Divorce. I wouldn't be able to trust her. She's being sneaky.
Yeah, and you know what she was getting.
And I think women can be much more sneaky than guys.
Uh-huh.
They are 4 steps ahead when they want to be sneaky.
Oh yeah.
So she may have said that and forgot. Just happened to forget. And all the other messages, maybe she had deleted as they were.
Yes.
And that just one just kind of.
She forgot that one.
Right.
And bit her in the ass.
Right. All right, next. I'm 45 years old. My wife is going on a trip tomorrow along with 6 other girls to celebrate a friend's birthday. Very common for men to go on a guy's trip, women to go on a women's trip. Last night, I was putting a name tag on her suitcase when I noticed a lacy pair of underwear. Curiosity got the best of me and I took a look. Her underwear for the trip definitely came from the sexier side of her drawer. Not a big deal, except that over the last year, she hasn't worn any of these underwear, nothing even close. Instead, she opted for practicality, telling me that women her age don't wear sexy stuff and it's uncomfortable and a bit inappropriate. So here I am sitting and thinking, what has changed so much that she hasn't packed any comfortable choices? Obviously, bringing this up will cause issues, but my imagination is getting the best of me. Am I kidding myself that it's a fashion thing, that she doesn't want to be the one in the group wearing granny panties? Or is there something more sinister going on?
He can't not say anything.
I probably should have said that it's not lingerie that she packed. It's thongs and lacy bras. That she would have worn regularly a few years ago, but has since said she will not wear those any longer.
She's going out, going away. It probably doesn't show a line on her, whatever she's wearing. And it's nicer if you're going to a. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, to be honest. At first, once you read the edit, it kind of changed my thought process on it.
If your wife used to wear thongs and then she has taken a line in the sand saying, that ain't for me. I was wearing that because you liked it. It's just very uncomfortable. And you're like, babe, just put on a thong every now and again. And she's like, no, not doing it. And then you see this and you're like, why would you want to wear something sexy when you're out with 6 women?
Yeah.
You were adamantly against it for me, who wanted to see it.
I'm in the lane that whatever she's wearing, it looks better for that.
But you're saying she wouldn't wear that stuff going out with him?
I mean, I don't know.
I think that's from where his.
Yeah.
I kind of half agree and half looking at it from his eyes. Like, women typically wear matching bra and panties when you're dating, because if there's an opportunity that she decides to take it a step further that night, when she takes off her clothes, she looks good.
Always planning.
Right. Planning ahead.
Yeah.
I see what he's saying. Like, is she thinking that there could be an opportunity?
I see what you're
Is she mentally preparing herself to possibly be put in a position to where she would want to look good when she takes off her clothes?
Yeah. I don't know. Like, part of me
and then the other half would say, if all her friends are fashion forward, still wearing thongs.
Yeah. That she didn't want to be
the one taking off her shorts and there's granny pants. Yeah. So, like, part of me could be with saying that. Let me throw this in. But would it change your mind if, let's say, your wife has a particular hairstyle groomed down there that maybe was not as tight as you prefer when she were just dating?
Yeah.
Got a little loose. And you see her walk out of the shower the day before she leaves, and it is trimmed up, prim and proper. Would you think anything? Like, why are you grooming down there?
Why is it important right now where it hasn't been important for the past? Yeah, I mean, it's gotta throw some flags. It's gotta throw some flags up.
Like,
to
if obviously I just threw that in there, but if those two things were happening to be combined, I'd be like, bish. What are you doing? But like, just the underwear, like, I feel like she could explain it away. Yeah. Kind of how we did, like her friends. It still seems odd if she had a hard line and said, I don't want to wear that. That's inappropriate.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's not inappropriate when she's not with her husband. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's hard to explain from a guy. I understand why that would be at the very least uncomfortable.
Where you would definitely feel like something's a little fishy with it. But in my mind, I think there's like plenty of good excuses. And if she just said one, I'd be like this.
Yeah.
All right. Even if I didn't believe it 100%, like, you can't say that she's lying.
Yeah, you just got to trust your wife with that.
Yeah, you would have to trust her. So
she's just going to cheat. You know, if this was her one time, you're not going to stop it by packing her bag with granny panties. You know, don't bring those thongs. Like, you know, whatever's going to happen.
In the history of the world, I don't think there's been a guy that when he is going to go hook up with someone, like a girl, like she's cheating on her husband, boyfriend, and the guy's like says, "Whoa, no way," because you have granny panties.
Right. Moving
on. My boyfriend and I, they're 25 and 26, have been together for 7 years. We have 2 kids together and have discussed marriage. In the last 2 years, he's increasingly become more vocal about the lack of sex we have. This morning, we got into a disagreement about how he needs sex every day, or at least needs me to attempt. After going back and forth for a minute, explaining that my sex drive isn't like that, I struggle with horribly weak pelvic floor, hormonal imbalance, and chronic depression and anxiety, grieving the loss of my grandma. And I've been dealing with postpartum as a stay-at-home mom. Managing my mental health has been a battle lately. He's incredibly supportive in all ways. So what he said to me really set me back and made me not want to have sex anymore. He said sex every day is a need, that I gave it to him when we were first together. And that's one of the main reasons he got serious with me in the first place. He said, if I want him to make me his wife, that they have to get back to that sex every day, or at least attempt to have sex every day, even if it gets interrupted somehow. He doesn't want to have to go find it elsewhere. I've been waiting years to be engaged and married to him, and this crushed me. Now he's saying that he won't marry me unless I give him sex every day.
That guy's an asshole.
That's my first feeling.
I'd have a hard time believing that he's great in every other aspect of his life with her.
Oh, yeah, no.
If she's going through that process and dealing with it and possibly on medication, that can also affect your sex drive. But every day?
I feel like that's an unrealistic...
How old were they?
26 and 27.
Every day, dude.
That's excessive, especially when you have...
2 kids?
Yeah, they have 2 kids. So and they're 3 years old and 16 months.
Yeah, so that's
unrealistic.
Every guy in every relationship goes through that shit storm when they have 2 young kids. Like it's tough. Yeah. It's tough. If you have open communication, it makes it a little less tough. If everything that was said on there was said, but he was like once a week, I would be like, okay. I kind of get it.
Yes.
Especially if he did. What's the weird thing with attempt? What's the attempt?
Yeah.
It means he's got to put it in, and if he doesn't finish, then
I guess
chalk
like
it up
they got
as
to
an
start
attempt.
fooling around, and then the kid starts crying, and that counts as your task
Dude,
for the day.
Don't marry that motherfucker.
That guy's a fucking loser.
Your life is going to be shit. Every relationship goes through spurts, and there's times where it happens every day. With 2 kids and 2 people working, and like, dude, every fucking day.
Yeah,
I don't even want it every day.
I know.
I'm exhausted thinking about that.
Because he's dangling the
Marriage
engagement,
carrot.
the marriage,
The literal carrot.
Yes, he's dangling. He's dangling the carrot. And if you don't give me this every day, I'm not going to give you this that you want.
And even if she steps it up, how good is the sex? Does he just want a limp body to bang? Like if she's not into it, she's not into it. And it
guaranteed
sucks.
he's in it for himself the entire time.
And so it's crazy. You're telling me that with 2 kids, you don't have as much sex as you did when you were dating, when you were 24. Crazy. Fucking crazy, dude.
So insane that after 7 years of being married and now having little kids that it doesn't happen as often.
I've always had the saying, and I think I made it up. So if you've heard it elsewhere, then tell me I'm wrong, but men will have sex to let them know that everything's all right.
Mm-hmm.
Women will have sex when everything is all right.
Yeah.
Very subtle difference.
But it's a big difference.
It's a big difference.
Yeah.
Men want to have sex, and when they have sex, they're like, okay, that tells me we're good.
Yeah.
But women only really want to have sex when they feel like it's already good.
Mm-hmm.
As a man, you kind of have to make sure that there are other needs taken care of. He's not. Like, not even close. You already got 2 kids.
I know, she's pot committed.
What's she going to be, a single mom with 2 kids with postpartum and some crazy other low? What is that? What does she have? Like a low?
What did she say? She said
a low bottom floor.
A horribly weak pelvic floor.
I don't know what that is.
I don't. You know what? Intern. Look up pelvic floor. So your pelvic floor muscles support the bladder, rectum, and uterus. It's probably something that happens with
when you have kids. Okay, yeah. I don't know. I don't know why she threw that in. Do you know what I mean? Like, so maybe there's some type of.
She was.
I'm
trying
not Dr. Drew. Give me a fucking break.
she was trying to
just pile on.
I feel like she was just trying to pile on. Just
a little bit of victim. Like, I'm going. This is all the things I'm dealing with, and he just wants, this one more thing.
My grandma died.
Right. I need a daily nut. So how's it gonna happen? Yeah. How are you getting it out of me?
I don't care how it happens, but
he's gonna wake her up in the morning before work.
I don't think she works. She's like a stay-at-home mom.
But she's probably doing nightly duty with the kid.
Yeah. So and then I'm gonna assume he's working
a 9 to 5, whatever.
Working a 9 to 5. So you get home like 6.
Where's my dinner, bitch?
It better be you on this table and my dinner.
Right. I mean, he's probably that guy. He's not Mr. Sincere that just wants to pop one off every day.
Yeah.
Like he's an asshole year round. She just doesn't see that side.
Yeah, she doesn't.
She's probably what she's grown accustomed to. And just now her libido has lowered. So now this is the thing that's rising above the surface because now her libido doesn't match his. So
yeah. And all she wants to do is get married to him, and all he wants to do is just get his nut off. Like,
Yeah.
It's such an asshole.
Your single biggest decision in life is who you choose as your spouse.
Yeah.
That will dictate your happiness. It could dictate financially what you do.
Yep.
Just your overall well-being, your stress levels, which is your health, how long you live. Like everything in your life is determined largely in part by who you want to choose, who you get married to.
Yeah.
And if you fuck that up, shame on you.
And if she sends an email like this complaining about it, and then she goes on to like reiterate how great of a person he is, you got to justify it. Like after that, you're lying to yourself.
That's the same as saying Reverend John, great Reverend, great man of Christ. He diddled 2 kids, but he was a great guy.
Yeah.
Ran this church perfectly. He had a charity, and you're like, whoa.
Kind of glossed over that.
Let's backpedal a little bit. At that point, you're not a great priest. You're a kitty diddler. You know what I mean? Like
no matter
that
what you
supersedes
do,
everything.
yes.
Like that is you.
Yeah, that
Don't tell me what else you fucking do. How you help kids in Thailand and shit.
I don't care if he cured Alzheimer's and cancer, but he diddled kids.
You're a kitty diddler.
He's a kid diddler.
Yeah. Like
some things you
fuck
can't
off.
yeah, some things you just can't get fucking past.
I'm exhausted about giving advice. I
know.
I don't know if
I could never be a therapist.
Oh, I could. Oh, I could tell you all your fucking problems.
I know.
I could
it's
give
easy
you
to point fingers
I
from your
could
ivory
give you
tower.
so much great advice.
So if any of our listeners out there have any stories, we were as vague as possible, so you can tell us whatever you need, and we'll give you the advice.
This was kind of an experimental episode. If you hated this episode and you listen to us every week, tell us you hated it.
Yes,
let
us know.
And we won't give you any more of this. If you liked it, tell us you liked it.
Yeah, we.
I hope they liked it. But I'm ready. I will ask a question that I'm okay getting the answer.
Yes.
Thank you for hanging out with Baltimore's best podcast, Inappropriate with Jim and Steve. I'm Jim.
I'm Steve.
See you next week.
Big moves, I'm that dude. Bet I see you from the top, yeah, real soon. Looking down on the haters that I've been through. Told them I'll see you later, yeah, big truth. I keep a real good pace. Built a big house, damn, look at that place. Up in my mind, cause that's my space. House so big, full of positive things.